Now, you remember when Sakaja publicly denied that he was not transferring Nairobi to the national government? Well, that was news for you, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Governor Sakaja, the governor of Nairobi County, transferred the county roles in what he calls collaboration now to the national government. People saying he followed on Sonko's footsteps. Now, let us know in the comment section what you think of this transfer or other collaboration that has happened between Honorable Governor Sakaja and, of course, the national government concerning the running of Nairobi County. Now, it didn't just end there. The senator of Nairobi County, you know who that is. That is Sifuna, who is now the most talked about politician in Kenya right now. Actually, I think his rally is the most liked political rally in Kenya right now, commented in this particular statement. And his comments are coming timely after some section of Nairobi representatives in the National Assembly and in the Senate have previously accused Edwin Sifuna of abdicating his duties when it comes to county roles. Now, in this episode of the People's Mirror, we want to review and take a look on this particular collaboration and transfer, what really went on into the grand signing that happened yesterday in State House, of course, between Governor Sakaja and his good friend and political leader, Honorable President William Ruto. But more, we also want to focus largely on what did Sifuna say to President William Ruto as part of his duties as a senator and not as a political statement, knowing very well that the disagreement and the beef that exists between the two. I have to say thank you. We woke up to 4,048 subscribers, man. They are peaking right now. I think we're around 4,048 subscribers. You remember in the previous videos we said the second target is 4,100. So here we go. By the end of this video, before we do our next episode, let's hit 4,100. Thank you so much if you have joined the People's Mirror Club. And if, of course, this is also the first time you're interacting with our channels, you can also hit that subscribe button and help in our challenge. Our dream is to hit 5,000 subscribers mark before the month ends, and we believe it's possible. So if you hit the button, then those numbers start reducing towards the mark. Now, let's start by the statement of Governor Sakaja, starting from the top, when he was talking about this particular issue yesterday, saying that it is not an actual transfer, it's a collaboration. Before we make our political comments and narrow and zoom our lenses deeper into the fight, of course, between Sifuna and the president when it comes to running Nairobi County.
It is not a transfer, but a collaboration, which is encouraged and which holds true regard to the mandate given to both of us by the people of Kenya and the citizens of Nairobi, and to the constitution that we swore to abide by. With a population of close to 7 million residents, and with the city growing year on year, the equitable share from the division of revenue that provides resources to all the counties, as well as our own source revenue, can never be enough for the demanding needs of a capital city of the stature that we aspire to be. It is not a transfer, but a collaboration.
That's what the county governor said. He said that it is not a transfer, it's a collaboration, and this is something that they have to do so that they hit the aspirations that they have as a people and as a county. So previously, because this is a story we have detailed here at the People's Mirror, we don't want to spend so much time talking about it, because there's a whole episode and you can find it in our page where we have talked about this transfer when the President William Ruto talked about it. So it's in our, if you check like the past 10 to 8 episodes in our channel down here, you will find this story. When President William Ruto talked about the Nairobi issue, he was talking about garbage, he was talking about water, and he was talking about roads. And he was saying that these are very important things that he has to address and the national government have to address within the Nairobi area, primarily kwa sababu the Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya. Na tukisema tunaenda Singapore, then primarily the place where we need to start the work is within the Nairobi County. Now, people took a look at this as the deviation of what happened then. President William Ruto's previous regime before he got into power was President Uhuru Kenyatta's regime, where Sonko actually also transferred those particular duties to the national government. Now, in the Sonko case, it was a complete transfer. In this particular case, you've heard the governor saying that it's a collaboration. But what are people saying? On the ground, people are saying that Sonko, after his transfer, ended up being impeached, and right now that Sakaja has actually also transferred that particular position, or rather what he calls has collaborated with the government, people are looking at it as an imminent impeachment. We will play for you some reactions by certain Nairobi residents, of course, after this particular transfer happened, starting with this one before we take a look at what did Sifuna say.
I may not support Ruto, but Ruto has done the just thing, because this is the time when tushaipata governor ovyo, a very useless governor, mtu mwenye anaweza unleash goons wakuja haribu biashara za watu. Mimi nataka nikwambie Sakaja, karma is a bitch. What you did to us time ya maandamano, wakati ulienda ukachukua magoons, umekuja umechapa wanabiashara huku town, vitu zinaharibika na wewe ndio ulikuwa governor, then you got at hiyo kitu itaenda hivyo. President sasa amekukujia. Sakaja, hii siku alikuwa na nini, siku alikuwa pa county assembly, akasema he cannot hand over the county function to the national government. Leo kumefanyika nini? Leo kumeendeleaje? Mimi nataka niambie serikali kwamba hizo functions zenye imechukua, kama ni ukweli, it means well, mambo ya garbage collection yenye iko hapa town hii, ukizunguka kila Nairobi, kila kona kuna takataka zimewekwa. Wewe kama serikali, hii tena ni kipimo kingine tunataka kuwapatie na muangalie poa.
Now, you can listen to that reaction from one of the business owners of Nairobi, who actually is commending President William Ruto for taking the roles out of the Nairobi County Governor, saying that the Nairobi County Governor at one point unleashed goons on the Nairobi business community, and that is his statement to that end. Now, what is the Senate of Nairobi saying after his county is now being transferred to Honorable Mudavadi to oversee the functions of the national government in the county, while the governor oversees the functions of the county within the county? A statement that now Sifuna has termed as one that makes Governor Sakaja a deputy to Honorable Mudavadi when it comes to the management of Nairobi. And in this explosive speech, this is what the Secretary General actually said concerning that.
During that public participation. Secondly, the steering committee established to oversee the agreement is very national government heavy. Of the 12 members of the committee, a whopping 2/3 are appointees of the national government. From its structure, the governor will play subservient to the prime cabinet secretary, making Sakaja effectively the new deputy governor of the county of Nairobi. This to me is not cooperation but a takeover. Thirdly, just last week, the governor of Nairobi City County, Johnson Sakaja, in his address to the County Assembly of Nairobi, derided what he termed the NMS experiment that left us with a Kenya shillings 16 billion hole in pending bills, and vowing to never engage in similar misadventure. I wish to remind Governor Sakaja that the Senate in fact directed that those NMS pending bills were the responsibility of State House, from where he was speaking yesterday, since the accounting officer for NMS was the comptroller. He should have used the opportunity yesterday to remind the president that thousands of contractors and workers are still owed money by State House, and their livelihoods remain in peril as Ruto continues to ignore them. This agreement is a blatant continuation of the NMS model, and with it, the culture of unpaid bills, weak audit systems, and unbridled corruption. Fourthly, it is in the public knowledge that the national government owes Nairobians over 100 billion shillings in unpaid rates and other payables from national government institutions. Ruto throwing around the figure of 80 billion as a symbol of his generosity to the people of Nairobi is nothing but a ruse. Fifthly, the national government continues to hold on to functions that are solidly county functions under the 4th schedule of the Constitution. For instance, the Constitution recognizes only 2 levels of roads, and that is national trunk roads and county roads. Kenyans must note that national government agencies like Kura and Kera continue to insist on doing roads in Nairobi when they clearly need to hand over those roads and the attendant resources to the county government of Nairobi. In fact, the late Baba Raila Amolo Odinga repeatedly called for the disbandment of these 2 agencies, going so far as including the full unbundling of the functions in the MOU he signed with President Ruto in March of 2025. Ruto continues to not only ignore that MOU, but to actively violate it, as demonstrated by the so-called cooperation agreement. In addition, there exist constitutional and legal ways to channel funds to specific counties in recognition of their unique needs and status. These include additional allocations and conditional grants. Examples of these grants include grants to counties to construct headquarters and industrial parks. By the way, you should know Nairobi doesn't receive any of those funds, but other counties receive. If indeed we needed national government to build a world-class market at Gikomba, we can channel resources to the county government of Nairobi to build that world-class market through similar instruments. Lastly, it is my considered view that arrangements such as NMS and the proposed cooperation agreement unnecessarily obfuscate and complicate oversight and accountability processes by the assemblies, the Senate, and the Office of the Auditor General. The President at every turn dismisses concerns raised by both the people and their representatives as noise. He asked those with alternative ideas to give those ideas. Mr. President, I have said before that it is possible to govern and achieve development within the confines of the law, and I want to demonstrate this today.
Now, before Sifuna went on a very active spree of lecturing President Ruto venye anaweza run gava, saying the president ameshinda akisema that bring ideas, the other camps do not have brains, whatever. So Sifuna alikuwa anachukua that opportunity to actually show President William Ruto that you can run the government and bring development within the confines of the law. And in the next part of this bite that we will play shortly is lecturing President William Ruto, actually namfunza kuran gava essentially on what he would have done. But at this point, the signing has already taken place, of course, so Nairobi functions and collaboration is already going on with the national government. But it is important to point out these things then, the senator anasema in that particular writing and put them into just the lay terms really, without putting them as a press statement yenye senator alikuwa nasoma. So the first thing anaongelea ni corruption. Anasema that this whole thing is going to narrow down to corruption. There is no deal here. Anasema the collaboration is not to better the county the way that particular business owner who spoke a few minutes ago is optimistic that hii kitu inaweza saidia county. From where the senator is sitting, he feels like this is just an agreement to develop corruption within the county. I don't know how much that is true or how that is going to happen. Let us know in the comment section if you have a good idea. Then anaongelea unpaid rates. So mesema national government iko na do yenye na county government ya Nairobi. Naido in our county government in Nairobi haijailipa in terms of rates and rents and whatever national government owes the county of Nairobi. Of course, you know the national seat sits in the county of Nairobi. So ikiran kama county, those particular national seats or whatever national offices and whatever is being run by the national government within the county has a particular fee that they need to be remitting to that particular county. Na senator anasema the national government ina owe Nairobi county a lot of money. So essentially, and don't play the essence that the 8 billion that is coming from the national government right now to the county government itafanya in effect. From where he's sitting, anafeel kama that is not going to work positively for the people of Nairobi, other than really paying them their unpaid rates and rents. And then kuna history ya county functions held by national government. Anabunga kusukura na kera kusema these particular functions belong to the national government, yet they are the entities that are still running development of roads within Nairobi County. Anasema Raila before a day actually ali suggest that Kura and Kera they stop doing the activities within Nairobi County, they do the activities elsewhere, but they have been adamant and they are still doing the activities within Nairobi. So essentially, hata President William Ruto akijenga roads within the county is still going to use Kura and Kera, which is the national entity that has been building roads within Nairobi all this time, that the roads within Nairobi are still bad and dilapidated conditions. So according to the senator, anafeel Kura and Kera should be disbanded and the money be channeled to Nairobi County to develop itself. And of course, he talks about channeling resources to the county. The way I'm saying is saying if you want to build a first-class Gikomba, for example, instead ya kuget into partnership between the national government and county government kujenga Gikomba, so you channel to your do to county government, then ijenge Gikomba. And lastly, he's talking about affecting oversight functions. Now, this is a very important point. How would the oversight of Nairobi financial records or expenditure within the Nairobi county government be done if there is an angle of the national government and the angle of the county government both running the county, leave alone the relationship that counties have with the national governments across other 46 counties? Here they are both running the county, and so where he sits as a senator, and I feel kwamba the function of oversight, which is primarily primarily rather his role is going to be affected if the government is handed over to NIMS, what is it called, NIMS, that particular corporation that they are suggesting to run it as both the county and the national government. So these are very solid things coming from the senator, because oversight is really a senatorial role. Now let's get to the point where now, if he was the president, he would have done things differently. How? And this is the point where he's trying to show President William Ruto that development can be enriched within the confines of the law. Now here I have to make a political comment. It's interesting that Sifuna went ahead not only to talk about his oversight roles while making this press conference, but also to address an alternative of what he would have done if he was president. The reason why this is interesting right now and very timely right now is because people are having a conversation of what if the other alternative was a younger candidate actually seeking for the presidential seat, resource conversations aside. And so Sifuna is trying to now strategically position himself as a senator that is working and delivering on the functions of Nairobi, but beyond that, a candidate that would do things better if given a chance other than President William Ruto. Listen to this.
Here is what I would have done. Number one, direct that all national government agencies that owe monies to the people of Nairobi immediately clear their obligations, which are in excess of Kenya shillings 100 billion, and let the County Assembly of Nairobi ring-fence those monies towards development projects, including roads, markets, drainage, garbage collection, and the payment of pending bills. By the way, Nairobi still holds the highest amount of pending bills, over 100 billion shillings, so that if we were paid the 100 billion shillings that the national government owes us, we can clear those pending bills. Number two, immediately transfer all county functions to counties in accordance with the constitution and the MOU that you signed with Raila Odinga. Dissolve Kura and Kera as per his advice, and channel all their budgets to the the Nairobi county government to do our roads. Number three, utilize existing legal instruments such as Kara and conditional grants to channel additional funds to Nairobi for streetlights and markets, noting the unique security needs of the capital county. 4. Direct Treasury to honor the disbursement schedule passed by the Senate that legally requires them to transmit county shareable revenue by 15th of every month. You have heard us in the Senate complain of frequent delays, and the Council of Governors as well, frequent delays in disbursement of the shareable revenue, which is part of the problems, the causes of the problems in the counties. And you have heard that a state institution such as State House has already expended its entire budget 4 to 3 months before the end of the financial year. Yet county governments are behind 3 to 4 months in terms of receipt of their allocation. So you see, Mr. President, it is possible to remain faithful to your oath of office. We want development, but only if undertaken in strict accordance with the Constitution. This is, in fact, is the very foundation of leadership. I want to take this opportunity to urge both parties, my governor Sakaja and the president, to shelve this agreement in the public interest and maintain fidelity to the Constitution through those ways that I have suggested to them. I thank you. This is my statement. I will take questions, if any. Yes.
Now that was his statement, of course, before he took questions, if any, which were a lot. But now from that statement, he has offered an alternative really to what is going on with Nairobi County. Now, let us know in the comment section, what do you really think of this Nairobi County issue with the national government first? Is it a transfer or is it a collaboration? And either sides that you think, whether it's a transfer or a collaboration, let us know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think of it? Do you think that this particular transfer or collaboration is good for the county of Nairobi? Do you think it's timely? What do you think necessitated it? Do you think that we need it? The president is defending it, of course, saying that it is very, very necessary. Nairobi is the image of Kenya, really. And he says that for us to start moving towards Singapore, which essentially is what Sakaja used to close his speech with, saying, Singapore, here we come. So if you're supposed to get to this particular small country eventually, then Nairobi needs to start that particular journey. On this other end, the senator of the county, and I feel if these roles go away, oversight will be affected. Number one, they will not know how to oversight the financial accounts of Nairobi. Of course, they are saying that there is unpaid debts that have not been paid by the national government, yet this conversation is going on, and all the other issues that he has elucidated. But the senator might also be speaking a different language from the Nairobi business community, that we started by playing a section of their news bite, who now feel categorically that President William Ruto taking these particular functions from Honorable Governor Sakaja is payback and is actually karma, and they're celebrating it without any consequence of what will happen in the future as a result of this exchange. They're just celebrating it purely on the basis that it's karma towards Sakaja, and that is something that they enjoy. So let us know really in the comment section. You see, it's not a new thing in Kenya for county to actually transfer functions. It's actually within the constitution that a national government can transfer functions to a county government. A county government in return can also transfer functions to the national government. And the only prerequisite is that while transferring these functions, the person that is supposed to receive the functions you are transferring sits in a better position to actually discharge those particular functions that you are transferring to them, and that you are also giving them full mandate to actually transfer those charges upon the transfer. But you see, when it's collaboration, I am trying to find where collaboration is actually envisioned within the constitution, where collaboration can get to the extent that the functions of the county are being done by the national government. So really, from a legal prism, there is no room for collaboration in sense like a word that is made within the confines of the constitution between the national government and the county government when it comes to discharging the duties of the county government. The collaboration that we perhaps can talk about is the one that is created by the two sections of the two levels of government, being the devolution, devolved units, and the national government, and how they collaborate extensively. But when it comes to discharging functions within the county government, it has to be a transfer. And so what Governor Sakaja is saying, perhaps he's not understanding. And if he's not understanding what he's saying, then does he even know what he did? Let us know in the comment section. And keep it here, of course, until our next episode.